to journey deeper. Baby, now hold me close. Let's take this overboard.
Hey guys, it's your girl Magenta. If you're new to my channel, welcome. If you have been to my channel before, welcome back to my channel. And I did go on Instagram about a week ago and asked, I put like a question tool for you guys to ask me any questions regarding my career, what it's like being a woman in the automotive industry, and just all my experience too. I wanted to kind of talk about my experience and really just letting you guys know what's up. And if you are a woman, especially a black woman, and you want to join this industry, some tips on what to expect. And yeah, so let's get right into it. So I got my other phone here. I got my trap phone. Okay, so all in total, these are 12 questions. I'm not going to go by order. So I'm just going to go by what, down the list. So, okay, so the first question is, what got you so into cars, and how was it hard for you to learn everything you know now? Okay, so what got me into cars, and I know this is like a common question. I think somebody else asked me this question too, but basically what got me into cars is that, wait, hold on, a little background about me first. I've been working in the automotive industry for 3 years. I think I said that already. But if I didn't, I've been working in the automotive industry for 3 years. I started in 2023, February 2023. And currently I'm working in my third automotive dealership. So I have some things I want to say. Yeah. Um but yeah, so okay, so what got you into cars? So what really got me into cars is the inspiration from my mom, to be honest. Like, she didn't, growing up, it wasn't like she encouraged me to get into cars. Like, be like, the idea of me, like, if I was to think back of what I wanted to be as a little girl, I remember it's really, I wanted to be like a fashion designer for like tall women. Because I was tall. I was mad tall when I was younger, especially around my friends. So my height was very obvious. And it still is, but yeah, so, but just the thought of being a service technician was never thought of growing up. I did have uncles that were into cars. Like, one of my closest uncle, he was into cars growing up and stuff like that, and he's very knowledgeable on cars. But like, other than that, I just, yeah. But really, the inspiration came from my mom, to be honest. And like, she's very independent, so it's like she put me on to how to check for little stuff when it came to my car, my oil, changing the wiper blades, just little stuff, you know what I'm saying, that it's essential to know for if you have in the car as a woman. So, and then I would say, like, she always knew what was wrong with her car, or had an idea of what was wrong with her car, and most of the time she was accurate. So 2019, we drove to California. Me and my brother both decided we wanted to move to California together. We both had the same inspiration to do so. So 2019, we drove to California with my very first car that she gifted me as well, because she was like, you know what, my daughter needs a car, because she had two cars. So she had my first car as just, like, I guess, like, her personal car, her backup car. So she ended up letting me have the car. She ended up letting me have it in my first car. I was so happy. Like, I remember we went out to eat or something like that, and she literally like gifted me with the keys. And I was like, or I think I don't even remember. I think we was in the car coming back from getting something to eat or whatever, and just she gifted me the keys to the car. And I was just like, Mom, what? So, and then she always wanted to drive cross country. So my mom was like, well, the only way we're gonna get there is if we drive this car, and this is also your car to keep, because my mom ended up flying back to New York. So it was just an epic moment for us as a family. But anyway, so when I was in California, me and my brother, we used to see cars coming by, and I'm like, damn, that car looks fire. Like, damn, that car looks fire. Like, I started to gradually notice cars, Damn, I think it's gonna rain. I think it's gonna rain. But anyway, so we just got into we just gradually got into the art of cars. I slowly started to get into the art of cars and really noticing cars. And then there was a problem with my personal vehicle. I had a steering rack issue, and ever since then, I started looking up my steering rack, the science of it, and just parts in general. Like, so I just became infatuated with the fact that you could have a vehicle and you could fix it yourself. Like, it's really not as hard as it seems. You know what I'm saying? Because when we think about cars, we think about the engine, we think about so many different, and don't get me wrong, there are tedious things on cars. Like, cars are very tedious, but in the same breath, I'm like it's my first car. I need to know what's wrong with my car. I need to know how to, I need to know these things. So I just took upon myself to just educate myself, get into the art of it and stuff like that. And that's really what sparked it for me, because when I told my mom, it was like she just knew what to say. She knew exactly what I was talking about, and it just inspired me to be like, yeah, this is what I need to know. So she really kind of gave me that battery in my back, that little spark, and then I just pushed it through by actually investing my time, getting into the car going to like car meets and stuff like that, trying to get into the car scene, but being like a spectator of the car scene, like, so ever since then I just fell in love with wanting to work on my own car, and that's what really got me into cars for real. And I slowly started to get into like other things when it came to cars, because trying to merge my herbal business with me having like a complete opposite of an interest, it was definitely crazy, and it still is kind of crazy, but it's like, yeah. How hard was it for you to learn everything you know now? It really wasn't that hard for me. Like, once I started getting into my local shop and then I built some friends from there, I was able to have a mentor at the time. And then once I moved to a dealership, then I ended up, that was really like my opening to learn a lot more stuff and to do more stuff. So it really wasn't that hard for me to learn. It's really about how you apply yourself. You do have to apply yourself, and stuff like that. But if you apply yourself, you're willing to, it just comes, the education comes easy. It's just how do you apply the education to your skills, right? So it wasn't that hard for me. Ali said, how do I stop myself from being such a good technician? I mean, just don't be a good technician. Like, what do you mean? It says, somebody said, can you help me restore my Honda Civic? Sure. What was a crazy repair you had to do, and how long did it take to complete? A crazy repair, I would say it wasn't a repair I did on my own. I was pretty much helping out. It was like the craziest repair I seen was at my first job. Jerry, shout out to Jerry. He had a 350Z stick shift, and he was changing his whole transmission. I think his transmission. So to see like the clutch and how the transmission itself was, is like wow. And then it took him a few days to it took him a few days to really finish it. So I think that was like the craziest thing, like really taking down just the parts and stuff. It was crazy. Very messy, but crazy. Not too messy, oily, not too messy. If you got the right, but crazy. Okay, so your goals, aspirations, the heights you want to reach. So my goals and aspirations of the heights that I really want to reach big. Like, I want to really get into like maybe being like a car news reporter, you know what I'm saying? Like something in like the communication field where I could really just be like a reporter or something like that, or just even like to just be part of like sponsorships with my brand, and just like be a sponsorship for another woman, you know what I'm saying? Another black woman, like that would be cool. Like have my brand be the sponsorship for the work that she do, or just stuff like that. Like some cool stuff, but business, and it's fun and it's exciting and it's invigorating and it's all of that. But that's like I really want to go big. I really do want to go big with it. What are all the things you'll change? I wouldn't. Oh, well, yeah, I would change some things. I would change how I was emotionally. A lot of times, I won't say at times. I'm gonna say a lot of times, like, because I think during me coming into the industry, I was I was 27 when I really first started. Right, I'm 30 now, so I wouldn't say I was too young to really understand myself. Like I wasn't. I wouldn't say too young. I wouldn't say. Yeah, I wouldn't say like I was too young and immature, because that wasn't the case. I was just still. I was going through my Saturn return. I'm not gonna lie. I was still getting to know myself into what I really wanted. Because at that time, I was going through the transition of being into cars, but also being an herbalist. Like I was still trying to find that balance, and then like just getting into being around men and just like the conversations that I hear and what we have had. Like it's just a lot of things that kind of like I just feel like I could have been more emotionally mature about a lot of stuff. But at the same time, like I don't regret it though. Like I feel like I need to learn. Being in this industry really taught me more about myself too. And I feel like I needed that, especially at that time, because now I'm way more equipped with things. This is my carrot juice. It's carrot, ginger, and green apple. But yeah, I would change a lot though. I would definitely change how I became into the space emotionally, especially my second job. We really speaking for my second job, because my second job is where I really learned majority and had like crazy. But anyway, that's a nice car. What I would change is just how I came into the space emotionally and just connecting with people and stuff like that. Okay. Do you love it? Do you love? She said capitalization, love. Everything capitalized. I do love it. Like like I said, growing up, it was never like a big dream. So it's something that I grew to love, because I do love like what I'm doing. But I definitely like I don't know how to explain that. Like I love what I'm doing. I love what I'm doing in my career. But it's not the end all be all for me. You know what I'm saying? Like it's more to me than just this. But I do love it. I do love it. What car do you hate working on? Honestly, I really don't like working on Audis. Audis just have a very tight engine bay, like most European cars do. Um, I wouldn't say I hate it, but I don't really enjoy. I don't really enjoy it, and I would say BMWs too. Like BMWs have tight spaces. Like I just don't like working on cars with tight engine spaces. But you know, um, what was the first thing you learned how to fix? Damn, what was the first thing I learned how to fix? Ooh, the first thing I learned how to fix was my starter on my first car. My starter. That job, I literally cut my finger and I was like, wow, my first cut. We in this, my first cut. That was the first thing I learned how to do. It was pretty cool. It was really I felt really accomplished, because all I really needed was the tools for real. And it wasn't that bad. It was some tight spaces, because my starter was more so underneath, but I was able to still see it, which was convenient for me to get to. But that was the first thing I learned how to fix on my car. What has been the biggest challenge of being in the automotive industry? The biggest challenge for being in the automotive industry for me is really just merging myself into masculine space. But yeah, like that's like the biggest challenge, and really like the knowledge that comes with it, the terminologies, um, different personalities, just like people and stuff. Like I went from literally working in a school with kids, being an after school teacher, and then I went into the industry. So it was like okay, working with kids was it's like a sweetness to it. It's like you just feel a sense of joy around kids. You feel motherly. You feel like you're nurturing these kids and putting them leading them to the right direction as a teacher. And then you go into like an automotive industry where it's very very, you know what I'm saying, like a lot of egos, a lot of masculine energy at once. So I think the biggest challenge was really just merging myself into that space. But lucky for me, like I won't say growing up, but when I was 19 to like 20, 24, I was skateboarding. So I was used to being in a masculine space, even just as a young adult, like being around skater boys, like really getting to know boys to men. But so that kind of like helped me really let go of that nervous feeling. But for the most part, it was really just like merging myself into, and then having conversations that was also very challenging, and just the work itself, like just some things can be very intimidating, especially with cars. But that was like the biggest challenge, I would say, like really working through being in that space for 5 days. For 5 days. Okay, what cars do you think are the best overall and the worst? In terms of fixing, I would say the best would be Toyotas, like Toyotas, Hondas, and the worst, I'm gonna say I ain't never worked on every single car, so I'm not gonna say like an extreme luxury car, but I'm gonna say like BMWs. That's just my experience. I do feel like really. I never worked on a Porsche before. I never worked on a Lamborghini. I never worked on a Bentley. Any of those type of cars, like those really luxury cars. I never worked on those. So I'm not gonna say they're also the worst too. But those seem very intimidating. But at the same time, not really, but really, yeah. What got you started? Okay, that was my first question. That was Oh wait, did I read these already? Oh yeah, I read. Damn, these are all okay. Bree says, "So proud of you. Can't wait to learn from you." Thank you. Yes, come learn from me. Oh wow. Okay, that was all the questions. I think that should be 12 questions in total, because when I wrote it down, I came up to 12. But yeah, thank you guys for asking me these questions. I'm so happy that I was able to answer these questions for you guys. Being a black woman in the industry it's not bad. I'm not gonna make it seem like it's the worst thing ever, because it's really not. But it's really how you make of it, right? Like I I have so many goals outside of just being a service technician. Like this isn't the only way that I personally want to make income, and this is not the only way that I want to live my life, because this is not the end of my life. I want to talk more about the do's and don'ts and what to expect, etc., 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 etc. So thank you guys for tuning into this video. Thank you guys for watching. If you guys have any more questions, please comment below and ask me. I'm gonna answer. And yeah, I'm definitely gonna do more content surrounding this topic, being a black woman in the automotive industry, and definitely gonna play around with it. You know what I'm saying? Just be more informative about my experience, and so that I can help you guys if you're interested in joining the automotive industry, the do's and don'ts, the where's, the how's, the why's, etc. Right? So yeah, so thank you guys for watching this video. I hope you guys enjoy. Stay tuned for my next one. I'll see you soon. Bye.